And welcome everybody, 505 interview series. Big D coming at you. Running a little late. The stream crashed right when I was getting ready to go live. So I apologize about that. Waiting on Mechelle to get back in here because she's got to jump back into the stream. So once she gets back in, we will bring her on board. Welcome everybody. Glad to have you all here. Yeah, another week, starting an early show today. So appreciate that. Beautiful day. First day I get to wear shorts today, so that's always a bonus. So I hope you're all doing well out there. So tonight, got great guests. Mechelle Merkerson is the guest tonight. She's a cigar educator, a model, a content creator, brand ambassador, so on, so on, and so on. Does an awful lot within the community. So excited to have her on. So once she gets back in, we will bring her on since the stream crashed. So it's unfortunate that happened. But technology. But while we're waiting on her, make sure you get on over to selectracigarcutters.com. Brand new partnership started up with them. Boy, I got to tell you, the Select Draw, it's awesome. I love it. Boy, this can be used as a cutter just by itself by poking through the top of your cigar. It can also be used as an enhancer to enhance the flavor you're getting off of your cigar. So, it's a beautiful thing. I love it. And if you use the promo code 505CR when you check out, you'll save some coin off of your order. So there you go. Still waiting on Mechelle to get in, but grab yourself the Select Draw. Get on over to selectdrawcigarcutters.com. Use the promo code 505CR and save you some money. And also, down in the description down there, there's a link to a link tree down there, and that will actually take you straight to all my partnerships that I have going on. So you can buy cigars, you can buy the Select Draw. It's got all the promo codes there, so you can enjoy, take advantage of those discounts and deals. So still waiting on Mechelle to get back in here. Like I said, the stream did crash right when I hit the go live. So I hope she gets back in here soon. Otherwise, I got to carry this show myself. So looks like we got quite a few people up in the chats today. So thank you so much, everybody. Now we play the wait game. I don't know if she's having issues or not. I did send her a text to tell her that the stream crashed. She needed to come back in. So hopefully she got that message and we get the show started. I may have to call her. Yes, Mechelle is cigar royalty. She is awesome. She is one of those. She's one of those content creators that just, what, she puts a lot of extra time and thought and effort into what she creates out there. And so, we go. Mechelle, I need you to jump back into the stream. I need you to click that link again and come back into the stream. Because the stream crashed. So come back so I can bring you on. Otherwise, it's just me doting about you. Kenneth, I'm from Colorado. Is where I'm from. So originally from New Mexico. Hence the 505. If you're familiar with the area, that's the area code for northern New Mexico, where I hail from. So, yeah. But I live in Colorado now. So I guess there's quite a few people in here. You may not know who I am. So while we wait on Mechelle to get back into the stream here, so a little about me. My name is Daniel Ravanelli. Everybody calls me Big D out there in the kind of in the cigar world. I've been smoking for 22 plus years with cigars. I've been creating content since 2019. My focus is on the boutique, small batch, limited run brands that are out there. I like doing the showcase of the brands, um, and I enjoy. I bring them on when I did reviews, which I haven't done reviews in a long time out there. Um, um, that was the main focal point, was showcasing them, getting people to go to the other side of the humidor where they're may not go. So I wanted to make sure that they got the love and respect from the brands that they got. I don't really do anything with big brand, legacy, or heritage brand sticks. Uh, they're not my jam really anymore. I really get, they were few and far between beforehand, but about 2 years ago, I almost completely gave them up. So that's where I'm at. You can catch my content over on Rumble. YouTube is strictly for doing the lives because of issues with YouTube and the ATF content that's out there. So um, um, that's where so I post most of the content there, but I don't really do reviews anymore. But I do still post content up, so you can catch the content over on Rumble. So I suggest you go check that out. I do a live review show on Instagram on Tuesday nights with my partner Ryan, who's from Rocky Mountain Cigar Show, and we do bring brand owners on and do a live review and an interview with them on Tuesday nights. So. Um, if you haven't checked out anything I got going on, please feel free to go check me out over on Instagram. Go check out my Rumble. I got content that kind of goes up everywhere. I better type here in this chat that I need her to come back in. Uh, let's see here. There we go. All right. So, test some technical difficulties. Trying to get Mechelle back in. Let's see here. Kenneth, how do I choose the people to interview? Good question. So, I go through a screening process because I just don't interview anybody. I need to get some information. I need to know who they are, their brand. They need to be able to tell me the basics their about who they are and their brand, what they do, something about the tobacco, who's doing their manufacturing for them, where their tobacco's coming from, and then kind of move in from there. I also, a lot of the brands that I talk to, I meet at trade shows and events. So I've been able to strike up relationships with them. So that way, I have a better understanding and I do know a little bit more on it. Okay, so the guest of honor is back. Let's bring her on. She knows I have a massive crush on her. I promised her I wasn't going to dote and be all giddy over her for the show, that I was going to give her time in the spotlight. That way, I'll just kind of keep to myself. So without further ado, here she is from Cigars with M, Mechelle Merkerson. Hey.
Hey, how are you? Oh, so good to see you. I mean, I haven't seen you since TPE. Oh my gosh. Like, we had such a good time.
Yes. So, good to see you. Sorry, as soon as I hit go live, the stream crashed and I had to reboot. And I was like, you got to come back. You got to come back. You got to come back.
Yeah, no worries.
So, for the people
I'm
out
trying to get
there,
myself in the camera.
you are in there. You look perfect and beautiful and everything else. You're a shining star.
Thank you so much. You're so kind.
So, so for maybe some of the people who are watching the show tonight who may not know who you are, although I think you've got a big caravan of people who coming in to support you today. So thank you to all those people. Explain explain you. Introduce yourself to the people out there.
Yes. I am so grateful first I mean, like you're a legend in the industry. So I'm so grateful to be here on the show. My name is Michelle. And I have a cigar education show called Cigars with M. It's every Monday that an episode premieres on four social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. So with my show, I really strive to enhance this the cigar experience that cigar smokers do have, and I want to make sure that, of course, I'm educating people from my my content, and also not just the content that I have on video, but the content that I have in my photos as well. If you follow me, you notice that I put cigar education on the bottom of my photos as well to make sure that people are educated about the cigars as well.
Excellent. All right. So, are you going to be smoking with us tonight?
I am actually. I'm smoking a cigar that you gave me, so thank you so much for that. It is the Benevadas Amor de Terre. It's a Habano. It's actually pretty good.
I love Benavides. Marvin is such a great dude out there, and that's also a fantastic stick. Um, so big shout out to Marvin Benavides. He's a wonderful dude. When we had him on our Tuesday night show, uh, internet's pretty bad in Nicaragua, and he was trying to get on with us. So he drove to a Starbucks in Esteli so he could tap into their Wi-Fi so he could come on the show with us.
Wow, that's dedication.
It is. I've got an old Davidoff.
Okay, I like Davidoff for sure.
Um, not I saw it and I said, well, let's smoke it. I know it's probably 10 or 12 years old.
Yeah, what I love about Davidoff though is that they require their master rollers to roll for 10 years before they can even touch a Davidoff. So for me, I can enjoy Davidoff every day, but when I do, I think about how important it is for someone to be dedicated for 10 years before being able to roll this cigar.
Yes, and that's Cerelix. I do agree. Her content is undefeated.
Thank
Yes,
you so much.
yes, yeah. Content is undefeated. Well, good. I'm glad to have you on. So, um, what was really your driving force for saying, especially after really post pandemic, I want to jump into creating content and get into this education aspect?
So I think the driving force for me is that I really like to teach and educate. I didn't want to be an educator by trade, but I wanted to make sure that anything that I was learning, whether it was for me or for someone else, meaning like somebody I come across says, hey, I wonder about XYZ, and I just happen to have the knowledge about it. So I really chose cigars because I really enjoyed it. I tried my very first cigar in May of 2018 from my dad. We went to a local cigar shop in Mobile, and I tried a Tatiana Groovy Blue. The crazy part about it is that that very first cigar just hit it off for me. It was one of those experiences that I'll never forget. I actually have a picture of it as well, which is crazy because when I think about my journey of smoking cigars and then learning from so many different seasoned cigar smokers and researching and just having really good conversations with people who've been smoking for forever, master rollers. Having those experiences as well has just my journey has just grown so much, and so I'm so grateful to be able to take that knowledge and really educate other people while doing it and creating content that not only can be a conversation for someone who is either new to smoking or has been smoking for a while, but it will allow people who are going to be possibly thinking like, "Hey, I want to be in the cigar community. Let me check out, what cigars is actually about." So this driving force for me essentially is the strength to be able to teach people and having the strength to do it when you don't really want to do it, or when you're sick, or when you're tired, or when you have a family member die, or when you just got a headache. You still got to make content so that people can be educated. And I think the strength is really what pushes me and is the driving force.
Picking up a little bit of static and feedback from you there.
Is it better now?
Uh, let's keep rolling with the talking. Come on.
Okay. Yeah, is that better?
Nope, we still got a little bit of feedback coming from you.
Okay.
Ah,
Let's.
technology.
Yeah, let me tell you, I was trying to get in and it kicked me out, and I tried to get in again and it was giving me an issue. Is that better now?
Nah, it's still the same.
Uh, let's see these headphones. Hold on 1 second.
Mm. Boy,
Is
today
it
has
better?
just been one of those shows that has not gone right from the start. It's because it's usually an early start for me. I usually start 2 hours later, just because of
Yeah,
my time zone. It's a little better. Still there. We'll just have to play with it a little bit. So apologize to those of you in the chat.
I can try one more thing. Hold on 1 second.
All right. So in the chat, what's everybody smoking?
Is
What
that
we got?
better?
Eh, it's
No?
just
Okay.
it is what it is. Data, I do enjoy the late hour as well. That's such a good stick.
We tried. We put the sound.
I did. It was fine, and then halfway through your explanation there, it kind of. That's all right. That's well, good. Okay, so you upgraded from the Tatiana
I
into
did.
real cigars.
Correct. Real cigars.
Okay, into real cigars. So what was your first real cigar?
Oh my goodness. Yo, the funny thing about it is that my very first real cigar was a Liga number nine.
Ooh,
And I honestly, for me, I think it was a bit much, but the tobacconist that was there, he really was trying to push me, not push me in a bad way, but really push me into um, a different palette. Like he said to me, you have been asking a lot of questions since you've been coming to this cigar shop, and he's like, I really think that you need to upgrade. And I think a really good upgrade cigar with you would be a Liga number nine. Like I think this is gonna push you into that, full body. That's gonna push you into wanting to try mild. It's just gonna push you into a different space, and it's gonna force you to try cigars that you may have not wanted to try because you tried the Tatiana Groovy Blue, and that's kind of your jam right now. So yeah.
I got it. Boy, we got some people in the chat smoking some fire tonight. Love it.
Yes. So
Love it.
what was
We
your
got some
very first
fire.
cigar, by the way?
So my first cigar, the day I turned 18, I skipped
Yes.
I skipped school, which was fairly common. But I skipped school. I took the 25-minute drive to the cigar shop in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I walked in and I said, I don't know anything about cigars. I want to learn. Cigars look cool. Can you help me? And uh, they said sure. So they took me back to the humidor, picked out 3 sticks for me, and so they go, these are 3 good sticks. They're probably to start off with. Smoke them. If you like them, come back. So okay, how much do I owe you?
Okay.
Because I brought like $100 with me because I didn't know how much cigars cost. I thought they were like expensive. I was like,
Right.
because I was like, how much do I owe you? I only have $100. Is that enough? And the guy goes, no charge. And I go, what do you mean
Oh,
no charge? You're
wow.
just gonna give them to me? He's like, yeah, if you like
That's a
them, come
blessing.
back. So I lit up the Padron 2000 Natural.
Oh my gosh, that's one of my top 15. Yes, I love that
So
cigar.
that was my very first cigar, and it then sent me down a very dangerous path over the last 22 years. On that,
Yes.
the next stick I smoked was the CLE Connecticut, which was when CLE was still, or Camacho, Connecticut. I'm sorry, the Camacho, Connecticut, when I was still owned by the Aurora family.
Okay.
So complete taste completely different than the Camacho Connecticut does now. It was a completely different stick back then. And then the last one was the
Wow.
Oliva Series G Cameroon was my third one.
Okay. Yes, I love a
I went back
Cameroon
the next
wrapper.
day. I went back the next day to buy more.
You were hooked.
So I was hooked. I was hooked. Yeah, first hit's free. So
Yeah.
uh,
That's what they
uh,
say.
so I
So
was
how's your day been, by the way?
I've been pretty good.
Good.
I was spent most of the day editing videos for a video that a challenge video that was put out to me by one of the other content creators out there. So I was doing that, and then I was working on content for my other channel that I do for sports cards and memorabilia. So that's how I spent my day.
Sounds like a very busy day.
It was. That's what I do on my days off. Work on content and create content. So that's what it is. So Wednesday, it'll be my first pre-recorded video dropping on YouTube in a year. On
Okay.
Wednesday, and it is a challenge video that was put out. I was challenged, and I accepted the challenge.
That's great. I can't wait to see it. I know it's gonna be great.
Oh, good question here, Kenneth.
Yeah.
Do you do educational videos and interviews? Well, the videos I do know is a yes, but the interviews I haven't really seen a whole lot of that from you. Is that coming?
So I currently do educational videos, as you stated. I also do some interviews. So I'm really selective on that, only because I really kind of want to focus and stay in the educational lane. That's really my niche, and I really kind of enjoy that, and it seems to be doing well. And so I want to kind of stick in that realm. But occasionally I will do interviews. Like if you looked at my page recently, in the last couple of months, you'll see that I did some interviews while I was at TPE with some really great brands that really stood out to me when I was in TPE. And I thought that they should really get some attention on my platform. And I did those interviews. And then I also did an interview with Cyrillic Cigars. Frederick, I got to speak to him. He has a cigar education book called The History and Etiquette of Cigars, and I really enjoyed the book. And we connected, and it was just like talking to an old friend. And so I really enjoyed that as well. And you can catch that interview actually on my YouTube, and you can see some clips of it on Instagram.
All right. I think you could do educational interviews,
I could.
especially with a lot of the knowledge that is in this industry. That I think they would enjoy doing something different instead of doing the standard interviews out there. Really sitting
Hmm.
back and talking education part. The importance, the education. I know if you hit up somebody like Ismail Olivan from Banff Cigars, he'll spend hours and hours and hours talking to you about tobacco, about manufacturing, about the blending processes, everything. The guy is so knowledgeable and knows so. I mean, he's a guy that if I ever have any question, I can ask him. He always has the answer, and if he doesn't, he
Okay.
knows the people who do.
Wow. I'll have to
So
meet him. I'm
yeah,
sorry. When it,
it's just such a good guy. Like he has over 500 blends that has created. He sources tobacco from around the world.
wow.
He's got blends that have Transylvanian tobacco in it. He's got blends that have Irish tobacco, and not Irish tobacco that is traditional pipe or rolly tobacco, but Irish
Hmm.
tobacco that is designed specifically for cigars out there. So, I mean, he's always out there. Oh, my goodness, we got a celebrity in the house there. Mr. Raymond Kane of the Cigar Clowns.
Hey.
Yes, Mr. Kane. Welcome. Welcome. Love those guys out there. Yes. And then we'll touch on something else there. Cyrillic Cigars there. Yeah, family for life, man. I
Yes,
think that's
definitely
one thing.
family.
Yes, I think that's one thing that really showcases our community here is that when you really make a connection with some people out there,
Hmm.
um, they really feel like they're family. You've known them forever. They hold a certain spot in your life out there that it's just like, man, I feel like I've known you my entire life. Your family,
Yes,
even though it's been a
that is
year.
very true.
Uh,
That's very true. I do see a question from Handlebars and Cigars. Hey, hey family. Um asking about what are the first three things she can look for when selecting a cigar. To answer your question, one of the first things that I look for when selecting a cigar is I actually, believe it or not, will pull my phone out and try to research cigars that I have never seen before. So when I'm going into a humidor, I'm examining the entire humidor, walk it for a little bit, and just look to see, okay, which cigars have I not actually tried? And then as I'm looking at those particular cigars, and I'll start researching, picking, okay, I'm thinking about a Cameroon wrapper today. Let's see about this particular cigar. This cigar looks like it's got a darker wrapper. It looks like it could be a Maduro. It looks like it could be maybe a Habano or even a Cameroon. So, I kind of gauge it based on looking through the humidor. Then once I have kind of decided between, I guess, one or two cigars that I'm going to pick up that particular day, I look at the band. I look at how this cigar is rolled. I look for any gaps in the wrapper. One of the big things that I look for when smoking a cigar is the gaps in the wrapper. I noticed that, at least for me, when I'm smoking, having the gaps in the wrapper does make a difference on how the cigar burns. It makes a difference on the draw. So I want to make sure that, I'm not just smoking a cigar that has maybe some imperfections. Not
mhm.
saying that it has to be perfect, but the gaps in the wrapper definitely does make a difference because it could be because of the temperature. It could be because of a bunch of different things.
Yes, I like to touch all the cigars with my dirty, greasy hands, and then pick them
No,
up
you
and
shouldn't
put
do
them all
that.
across my face, nose, and then go, that's not for me, and put it back in the box. That's what I like to do.
Let
Yeah,
me tell you, believe it or not, there are people that
people
do
who
that all the
I
time.
I got that from watching a guy in a humidor. I'm like, yeah, we're yeah, okay. Well, good thing that he's on that Heritage Legacy side over there. Sticks I don't buy. Good thing I'm just gonna walk past him over to the good side of the humidor with all the boutique and small batch brands where they should be right up front, but they're not. Oh,
But
good
yeah.
one there. Good one there. Dirty box pipe and cigars. What is your favorite cigar right now? Ooh,
Oh
what are
boy,
what's
that's a
your
good
jam right now?
question.
Yeah, what's your jam right
So
now?
honestly, my jam right now, to be honest, is the Dreamer by Luciano Cigars. I got to give a side story about this one. Let me tell you.
Ooh.
So I tried this cigar a couple of weeks ago. Actually, was this cigar of the week a couple weeks ago, and I received a box of cigars from Luciano. So thank you so much for that. And
Braggart.
when I tried, when I tried the Dreamer, I lit the cigar one time, literally one time, and I smoked that cigar for the next hour and a half and had no, I mean, when I say no, I mean absolutely no other time to light it again. It just, it was good the whole one light. And I said to myself, this is a really good cigar. Not just because I only lit it one time, but just from start to finish, each third was just a great build. And even when I got to the last third of the cigar, it wasn't bitter, it wasn't too spicy. It just was really smooth. The draw was great. I love the experience. So if you can try the Luciano cigars, the Dreamer, it is a boutique brand as well. It is definitely worth it for sure.
Luciano is a legend.
Yes, he is.
He is such a masterful blender out there. He's such a guy with such an amazing personality. If you haven't had his tribute stick to his mom, the Lucia Maria,
I
you
just had it. It's
it
so
is
good.
it's such a fabulous cigar there. Yes,
Yes.
I love Luciano. He's such a great dude. I
Yes.
love I love talking to him. He's got one of those just personalities and such a genuine guy out there. Oh, let's see here.
He
Do you
does
smoke
indeed.
cigars right away or let them rest? you should never have to let a cigar rest in your humidor. If you got to let it rest, it means you got a fresh roll stick. They're just rolling them and packaging them and sending them out right away. It's one thing if you want to let them sit for like you buy them and they sit for a week or two. But in reality, you should be able to buy a stick right now, pick it up and smoke it, and it'd be perfect. If it's not, and it's bitter or the burn's wonky or it's a bit still wet, then you got a fresh roll stick. That's a bigger problem with the bigger brands than it is with the
Mhm.
smaller brands because they got orders to fulfill. They don't care if it didn't get the amount of time that was required uh, to sit after post roll uh, for aging in there before they send it out. They just get them in and get them out. It's another reason why I've basically given up smoking big brand and heritage brand and legacy stuff. And I don't feel like I'm missing a damn thing by not smoking them. I
To
don't know if
answer
I
the
don't know if you
question,
concur. You're the educator here.
well, well, I am one of the educators. There are many that do a wonderful job. I'm one of the educators. I will say to the question from Handlebars and Cigars, I don't smoke cigars right away. Not necessarily because I don't think they're smokable, but I already have a rotation of cigars that I'm going to be smoking for that week. And so when I'm purchasing cigars at cigar shops, I will,
You're thinking
if
for
I'm
it
at
in
it,
advance.
I am indeed. And so for me, I will smoke a cigar when I'm at a cigar shop because I want to make sure that I am supporting that shop and I'm not just bringing my own sticks and they have sticks there, just kind of the etiquette for that. But when I am at home or I am going to a place where they don't have cigars, I already have my rotation of cigars I'm going to be smoking for that week. So I actually do let my cigars sit in the humidor.
Yeah, that's fine. That is an acceptable response. And then you wind up with like me with 12 8-gallon Tupperdoors full of cigars.
Oh my goodness. So I see Kenneth's question. What's your number one educational tip? That is a good question. To be honest, I have to really think about that because
Start young. Make sure you hit up all the elementary and middle schools and pass them out to kids, so we
oh
can
my
continue.
gosh.
Because based upon what I hear from the anti-smoking groups and legislatures, that's what we're doing. So,
Oh my.
so yeah,
I
that's a good question there, Kenneth. We'll let her think on that one, and when she gets that
yeah.
answer, we will answer that question for you. Let's see here. All right. What is a foreign destination you'd love to travel to, and your favorite cigar there? You know, do instead of a destination wedding or destination vacation. What's your destination smoking? Your
Uh,
smokination.
so I do have the answer for Kevin or for Kenneth's question. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And then I'll answer the question from RNYC. So the first question about what's your first number one educational tip, I will say trying cigars that you haven't heard about. The reason I say that is because there's so much quality tobacco out there. However, there are there's a very small amount of brands that you hear about because of the simple fact is like it's you hear about Drew State, you hear about Fuente, you hear about Padron, you hear about Camacho, you hear about Perdomo, you hear about those brands, and obviously there's some more brands that you hear about, but it's a smaller group of kind of legacy brands. And then you have a lot of boutique brands out here that are made in the same factories, and they're phenomenal. So what I will say is that when you are in your humidor or when you're online, wherever you're purchasing cigars, make sure that you're trying cigars that you may have not heard of. Obviously, do your reviews, do your research of looking at the reviews of the cigars, looking at the different wrapper, the filler, and the binder, making sure that you're kind of doing your research yourself, and then choosing those cigars. You might find them and then they're like, oh my God, I love these. These are my favorite. These are great. And so then you fall in love with a boutique brand or or a brand that you may have seen in the cigar shop, but you didn't really hear about it from most people.
Do
And
you have
then
a
to
do you have any people in mind that could help guide them in that journey?
Well, I will say you, because you do really well with guiding people in that direction. You are what I would say the boutique
Oh,
king.
what?
I hear
Oh
you. Let
my
me tell
goodness!
you, you
Oh
have put me
no!
on to some really big boutique brands. I mean, a lot of boutique brands, and I'm grateful that you have the connections that you do have with the boutique community, and I'm moving and growing into that community as well to really enjoy those cigars because they have some really great quality tobacco. Don't get me wrong, I love my legacy brands. I'm not biased to any side, but I definitely do find that there are a lot of boutique brands that are great. So I would definitely encourage people to look at Danny's show. He has a lot of boutique brands that come on his show that he interviews. He also smokes a lot of boutique cigars as well, so he takes pictures of those. So if you're looking for some great boutique brands, you need to pay attention to his content.
Oh my! That I mean that came out of nowhere. Thank you so much. Wow! Wow!
You're more than welcome. It's my
Wow!
pleasure.
Oh my goodness! Wow! That Kenneth, that's really all I smoke. And that's a lot of what I've smoked for the last 20 years is small batch, small brand, boutique brands. But the last 2 years, it's almost been exclusively what I've smoked. I basically said there's nothing good. I haven't had anything that blows my mind from these big brands. I've had more issues with the big brand stuff. And I'm just like, the cost of the big brand stuff is getting outrageous out there. And I go, you know what? I don't feel like I'm missing anything because I'm getting a better smoke. I'm getting I'm getting a better smoke. The quality of the tobacco is of higher quality. The
Mm,
enjoyment factor is far better than what I'm getting out of a big brand. The cost is half the cost, and I'm getting a cigar that I would you name a big brand stick, and I'll have a boutique brand that I'll tell you is 10 times better than that stick out there, because it is. That's just I'm not being biased. I'm just I'm speaking facts, and you can dispute those facts if you want, but I'm right because it's my show.
So to answer RNYC um, what is a foreign destination you'd love to travel and enjoy your favorite cigar there? Destinations for smoking. So I definitely want to go to Nicaragua. Um, One of the things I want to do also, not just smoke there, but I want to do factory tours. So that's on my list as well. And I know earlier someone had asked about um, selecting cigars. So adding on to that, I also try to pick on certain tobaccos as well. So like I know I like Nicaraguan tobacco. I know that I like Ecuadorian tobacco, like Cameroon. So those would be I would definitely want to go to Africa to smoke. And I want to go to Nicaragua. I want to go to Ecuador. So those would be some of my destinations for smoking.
Man, you got to
And
talk to Ish
hey,
Chevalier.
yeah,
Yeah, you got to talk to
yeah.
Ish. Ish has a factory in Zimbabwe. At the end of the summer, he's going to have a factory open in Ethiopia.
Oh
Um,
my, I want to go.
he's
Let's look
he's
that up. We
sourced.
need to go there.
He's he is he's got starting up his farm in his tobacco farm in Zimbabwe. He's contracting out with farms in Angola and in other African countries out there. So I mean, he is, you know, again, because he thinks differently. He is his mind thinks differently when it comes to this stuff. And whereas a lot of brands, the rollers are paid by the stick. They don't care about.
Hmm.
That's why you get such inconsistent quality. All of his people aren't paid by the stick. They're salaried. So they have an incentive to put out a fantastic stick, where the other ones are, let's just pump them out, pump them out, pump them
That's an
out
interesting
there.
perspective for
and
sure.
and and by paying them a salaried wage, they make more money in the Dominican, in Africa, in these countries. They have a better quality of life, and with that better quality of life, they want to come to work. They want to put out amazing cigars for you to smoke.
That's good.
Yes, it's amazing and smart. It is. It is. They're they're Chevalier. If you don't know Chevalier, legend in the
Good
humidor and
guy.
accessory
Yes.
game.
He's such a good guy.
He is. He makes. If you're in the mood for a custom humidor or amazing accessories, man, you got to head over to chevalierlife.com. He will hook you up with something beautiful. It will be a showcase piece that you'll want to show off to everybody. And if
Very
you're also
true.
looking for medium sized shirts, he's a specialist in that as well. This is a question that I think gets asked by a lot of content creators out there, especially those of us that have deep industry connections. And I think that it's a valid question, because I get asked this a lot when I'm on interviews. But coming
Agreed.
out with your own brand, putting all that knowledge into creating a cigar.
So I honestly, I have thought about it. Um, I think for me, I want to at some point, I would love to do a featured cigar with a company, and to really just not be, oh, you're going to put a band that is dedicated to me and on the cigar, and that's just what it's going to be. Like, I want to go through the entire process from the seed all the way to where the box is going to be completely like, hey, we're going to ship this off, and this is going to go to this particular cigar shop. I want to go through the entire process, and I want to also be able to handpick which cigar shops get that particular stick. And I may have it available online, but I really want people to support local. So I want to kind of push people to actually have to go to the shop to ask your shop to order it, or that you have to actually go to that particular shop to get this cigar.
Excellent. That good answer onto that one there. You know, like I started in on the process, but it's a lot of time that I don't have,
It is.
and I've decided that if it happens, it'll happen. But I'm in no rush or hurry to do such. But
Hmm.
I do have a couple of partners that I am working with on that, but they're also, they're busy. They've got their own brands that they're working on, their own things that they're doing. So I'm like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, doesn't. I enjoy the aspect of being a guy that a lot of these brands are sending their stuff to for demoing and testing the blends out and giving the feedback. When I see a cigar out in a shop somewhere, and I go, I was part of the testing on that stick. Like, to me, that's kind of my stick, because I had a hand.
Yes.
I didn't physically go put this in it and that and blend it, but I gave my feedback, and I gave my opinion
Right.
on what changes I felt needed to be made to a cigar. So in a way, I kind of feel like it's kind of my about 5% of that cigar is mine. Because
Well, it's a great experience for you to be able to have that, and for you to be able to have such a vital part in the process that they have as well. That's really cool.
good, another good question there from Marcus. So, are you in the future looking at maybe having your own shop or lounge out there?
So, to be honest, I don't think that that's going to be my avenue, only because I know that.
Oh, we lost her. Uh-oh. Hopefully, we get her back. I don't know what happened. All right, well, you get me again. Welcome. Today's the day that the stream doesn't want to work properly. That issues getting on. See, this is what happens when you start a show early. All these problems. So, yes, Marcus, I do agree. That is a strong no. Yeah, I don't think that's something I would want to get involved in either. Um, I don't think I'd want to, not that I don't think it's something I would want to do, but I just think that that's a lot. How to contact me? Kenneth, are you on Instagram? If you're on Instagram, shoot me a DM. Um, Over there, 505 underscore cigar underscore review. Shoot me a DM. If you're not on Instagram, if you're on Facebook Messenger or something, you can shoot me a message on Facebook Messenger. On there, links to everything me are in the description. There's a link tree, man. But let me know. Yeah, for sure. Hit me up, man. I'm always talking. I'm always looking for guests for this show as well as the Tuesday night show out there that I do with Ryan, which is a live review. Where both he and I sit down with the brand owner and we live review the cigar and give you and do an interview with you while we're live reviewing. Um, that has become a bit more of a popular option for a lot of these smaller companies. They're really enjoying doing the Tuesday night show compared to the one of one. So let's see. Oh, all right. She just texted me. She got back in.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. It kicked me
You
out.
upset. You upset the cigar gods by saying no. That's who you did. You upset
It
them
kicked
for
me out.
saying no.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Cigar
I'm
Rockstar,
so sorry, guys.
my next live review. Next night, my next live review. We Ryan and I have is tomorrow night. We do not have a guest tomorrow night. So we are going to be, we'll be live reviewing something tomorrow since we don't have a guest on. But I know that I can't say anything yet, but in a couple weeks, there may be a huge person in industry wise and boutique wise who may be sitting down with Ryan and me. I can't say anything yet because it's not 100% confirmed. It's only 80%.
Yeah,
All I can
that's
say
really cool.
is just keep tabs on my Instagram or Facebook, and you'll find out who who what, when, where, why, when, and all of that. No, you see,
I'm looking
you
forward
left,
to
and now your
that.
feedback's gone. You see, you had to kick yourself off to get the feedback away.
I guess so. I guess so. So sorry, guys. I see that Kenneth is asking a question. How would a boutique contact you? You can reach out to me through email or you can send me a DM on Instagram. I would prefer email just so that I can actually speak to you and I can keep it, record of it. It is available on my Instagram, also on Facebook as well, so you can reach out to me there. And Rockstar, hey, how are you? Good to see you.
There's
Thank you for
another
joining.
legend. Boy, tonight's a night of legends who are showing up for you.
I'm so grateful. Thank you guys so much for your
Boy,
support.
I gotta bring
It's
you on every
amazing.
Monday night.
We gotta talk about that because every Monday night, I don't know about that.
You ain't got nothing going on. You're fine.
I have a lot going on.
Uh, no, you don't have anything going on. Oh no. Yeah, so that's yeah. Yeah. So that was a strong no on to that question about opening a lounge. And I kind of tapped on after you bailed out on finishing out what you were gonna say, because I think you and I are kind of on the same page on that.
Yeah, agreed. I think that there's just so many things going on in the industry with
No.
retailers and so with that, it's just gonna
I
be real
think
difficult to have a
I
cigar
think
bar.
you look, I think you would be better off just being a featured host for events at these lounges. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more geared towards you and me and a few others, is just feature hosting out there on it.
Agreed.
You know, we all can't be like Rockstar and travel the world to and put on events at cigar lounges. But if you want me to show up at your lounge, I will. I don't know why you would work, but
Definitely.
if you want me to, I will.
I mean, there's definitely a reason for you to be at someone's cigar lounge. Come on now.
All right, so we've got into your journey a little bit. We've we've learned a lot about you, but the one thing that I find interesting is that you want to get into the modeling aspect with, but not just like here's me on Sports Illustrated, but you want to get into the modeling aspect of the cigar media side.
Correct. I
That's
do.
fascinating.
Yes, I think for me, there's some magazines that I really want to work with and actually be in, and I want to be able to write articles, have articles written about me. I really just kind of collaborate in the media space, magazines and blogs, and so I'm interested into that for sure.
Conceited. Once I want people to write about me, me.
I also included me to write articles as well now.
I know, but I'm sure you'll be writing about me. Okay. All right. Well, good. I look. That's a good dream to have because it's a really an outside of the box thinking and dream. There that to be showcased and to be featured, especially in some of these very exclusive publications and throughout. There's a lot of good cigar media out there that really uh, um, I think lacks um, the women's perspective in it. That could be very, very useful out there.
Yes, I agree. And I think too, there are a lot of magazines that are geared towards one gender. And so I think as women are getting more into the industry and being more involved with not just um, with the process of rolling cigars, where you see a lot of women being rollers, there's also women who are creating their own cigar brands, and there's women who have their own magazines. There's women that are creators that are in the cigar industry as well. So I think as women are invading the industry even more, which is a good thing because I think it's a space for both people, both women and men to be in and to be able to just really kind of work alongside each other. Being able to be a part of a magazine that is primarily geared towards men or primarily geared towards just focusing on the cigar industry as a whole, I would love to be a part of that.
Have you had the opportunity to speak to some of these great women in the industry, like a Karen Berger, like a Coburn, like an Indiana Ortiz? Have you had an opportunity to sit down and talk with them?
So I have not had an opportunity to sit down and actually talk to them. I did get to meet Karen. She's such a sweet woman. I love her so much. She's great. I got to meet her at TPE and we smoked a cigar together and just being able to smoke with her and talk to her for a brief moment was really good. But I definitely would love to sit down and talk to some women in the industry that have been doing it forever and really get some more knowledge about the industry and some things that they find as challenges, but also some things that they find as really beneficial with them being in the industry as well. I do see that we have some comments on here. Sarah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you and your kind words. And Marcus, yes, my name is Michelle.
Yes. Yeah, Karen is one of those individuals I find so fascinating. Somebody who started at the bottom and learned the ropes from the bottom and knows how every job is supposed to be. And her late husband teaching her the inside outs of everything from that needed to be done to be successful. And after he got sick and after he passed away, she's continued on his legacy that
Yes,
he put
she
out there,
has.
and she's crushed it.
She
And
really is, honestly.
and I think that's important. And when out there, when you talk about female role models out there, she's one of those female role models out there that women who want to be a part of the industry or just women in general, she's a woman that I think that a lot of ladies should look up to for what she's been able to accomplish and what she's been able to
Yes,
do out there, you
I
know.
I agree, and I think too, another woman that's I look up to in the industry, I look up to Ben. I really look up to her and her content and just how she is really just blossoming through the industry. And her and Karen, and I look at Nima, Red Lips and Cigar Sticks. She's a mentor of mine. So there are lots of women in the industry that I look up to and have the opportunity to either going to get an opportunity to speak with them further than just our initial conversation or have a conversation with them already.
Yes. Yeah, Ben is fantastic. She's such a nice person and
She is. We've talked a few
super
times.
no she's super knowledgeable. And she's one of those people that, again, she's somebody who knows so much, and if she doesn't know it, she knows the people to talk to get that information for you. Yeah,
Correct.
she is a great ambassador for the, just not for content creators, but for the industry as a whole.
Yes, I agree. So I want to ask you a question. What
Okay.
are some what are some role models that you have in the industry?
Well, on the content creator side, look, Cigar Obsession, I think everybody's watched him for 20 years. He's done it forever. He's one of the first to be out there to do what, to be out there, to put it out there, to throw his opinion out there. And we lost Michelle again. Hopefully she comes back. There she is. No, now we can't hear you. Oh, I think her AirPods died. Can't hear you. No, we can't hear you. Mm. Look at this. What an unprofessional show I've been running tonight. Um, so I'll continue to answer her question for her, and then I'll reiterate it again. But Cigar Obsession has been one of those people who I've really looked up to. I've never had the opportunity to meet him, but I've watched him forever. Kevin Shahan, Cigar Prop. When you talk about somebody who has been able to take the adversity that's been thrown towards content creators out there and still be able to do what he does and to get uh, and to be able to monetize and to get what he's looking for and to put out the content that he does. It's inspirational, especially if you're a content creator. He's a guy he's learned how to skirt the system, and he's continuing to grow his brand out. Um, let's see if we got
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I hate that this audio is going in and out and the video is messing up, kicking me out. Oh my goodness. I'm like, this is
Oh
so crazy.
goodness! You see, this is why we can't have nice things, people.
It's crazy.
Okay, so as for on mine, like I said, Cigar Obsession. I've never met him, but he's somebody who I've watched for years and years and years and years. Kevin Shahan, Cigar Prop, guy who has so much ambition out there, who has his hand into everything industry wise out there. A guy who has found a way to skirt the rules to make money as a content creator out there. Um, the Bob the cigar guy. As somebody myself who's a blue collar guy, here's a blue collar guy from South Carolina who enjoys smoking cigars and having a good time. And for me, he's the goat. He's the guy who who I really felt was that initial voice to the blue collar people out there who enjoyed smoking cigars. He was one of those people that gave us a voice out there within the industry, that people actually listened to and paid attention to what he had to say out there. Um, um, Anya Ramirez is probably, for me personally, my hero. Um, because if it wasn't for her, I don't think I'd be doing this.
I
Uh,
remember you telling your story on your last interview. It was such a
yes,
beautiful story.
yes, I had followed her for a long time, but when I finally got the guts to put out content and create it, she was the first person out there who was sharing my stuff, who was encouraging me, and really, added some legitimacy to what I was trying to do. And I could never repay her. I could never repay her for what she's helped me grow and build out there. She's definitely somebody who I really look up to and I think very highly of. And so, and there's a lot of content creators out there that are fantastic at what they do and who I have personal relationships with and that I enjoy hanging out with and spending time with. And everybody has their own. They're good at certain things that they do, and I try, especially with some of these big ones out there that I've had the opportunity to spend time with, I try and soak up as much information as they're willing to give, because they've found success in what they're doing. And if I can just get a fraction of what they've been able to accomplish, I would call that a success.
Agreed. Thank you for sharing.
That's what I do. That's what I do. That's what I bring to the table there. Well, good. Okay. Well, so you're dabbling into the consulting side of things as well. Was this with brands or with shops?
So it's consulting with really just people in the industry. So I've had the opportunity to just kind of have conversations with different brands, and I've talked to some cigar lounges as well, and kind of implementing some things that are helpful to them, whether it's with content or it's even with some of the cigars that they're carrying as well.
Excellent. Boy, Kenneth is on fire today. He's got
Yes,
some
Kenneth,
good.
you have some good
You've
questions.
got great questions coming in, Kenneth. Thanks for making my job easy out
Yeah.
there. Great question. What's one of the favorite things about the community that you've enjoyed?
So one of the things I have really enjoyed is just being able to build relationships with people. Smoking cigars has been, I think for me, it's been a blessing because I've been able to be in spaces that I probably wouldn't have been in had I not been a lover of the leaf. And so I am grateful to have the opportunity to really just meet so many amazing people I've met. I mean, I've met you, I've met
I
so
don't know.
many
I don't
other
know if I
people.
brag. I don't know if I brag about that, but
Yes, it is definitely something to brag about. And I think that you should definitely be a little bit more boastful about yourself, just a little bit. Like, but
well,
I think my favorite thing is definitely meeting people and building their personal relationships. It's priceless. What about you? What's your favorite thing about the community?
uh, part of what you said applies. The camaraderie, the fact that we get to talk to interesting people, and not even on camera doing an interview, just going to a lounge. Some of the people
Yes.
who we interact with out there, and a lot of them are people who probably would never give me a second look or want to talk to me. Because hey, I'm blue collared, they're white collared. Definitely two opposite spectrums here of that, but we're drawn together by the love of one thing. And as for our community is the best social group community that's out there.
It
I can
is indeed.
I ask anybody to try and or tell me a better social community that's out there, because we we're full of so much love. I mean, we all share cigars with everybody,
We
because
do.
if you're looking for something and somebody's got it, there's always somebody who's willing to trade or just give it to you, so
Yes.
you can have that experience out there. Um,
Agreed. I think
you
it's
know,
a thing that we do in this cigar community is that we give each other cigars all the time. Like, we talk to somebody for a few moments, or we're just sitting there for a good minute, and before you know it, they're like, "Hey, here, take this.
Try this.
Yes, try this."
You know, I have a relationship with some of the truckers who are smokers out there. When they're passing through town, they hit me up. They don't expect anything, but hey, man, I make sure that I give them a bag full of goodies so that they have some opportunity to enjoy something while they're on the road driving out there. And when one person in our community unfortunately passes away, even if you don't know that person, it still hurts us as a
It
whole.
does.
But we always are rallying around the amount of people who are collecting donations for the family, the amount of brands and content creators out there putting on raffles to raise money for the family. Who else does that out
Right.
there in a social group? During the lockdown, the Chicago group out there was making lunches and taking them to the schools in the inner city. For a lot of these kids, that's the only meal that they get for the day, is what they get fed at school. And with schools closed down, those kids can't eat, and they're making food to deliver over there. Who else in the Chicago community was doing that? Nobody. The cigar community was.
Right.
And that's why we're the best.
That's very true.
That's why we're the best at because we can. It doesn't matter what your race is, what your sexual orientation is, what your political affiliation is. When you got the leaf, you're not talking about any of that stuff.
Right.
You're brought together by something else. And what are most of the conversations when you're at a lounge? It's not about all that stuff. It's about the cigar, or comparing cigars, or getting information about cigars, or talking about what you do for work.
Right.
You're not talking about all this other stuff
That's very true.
It's
Very,
not.
very true.
We could solve a lot of world problems if we got everybody together with a good cigar, and, maybe a nice
Agreed.
a nice adult libation. I bet you'll find common ground somewhere.
That's very true. Agreed.
So yeah, that's my favorite thing about the cigar community, is that the camaraderie that we build with each other, and how we really, when you hear other groups talk about community, it's never about community. It's just that false sense. When we talk about community, we honestly mean it, and we show it by our actions. Our
Very
actions
true.
show what we do for our community. And our community is everybody who gets this. Whether you're a budget smoker who can only afford to smoke budget sticks or bundle sticks, or you smoke expensive high-end stuff, but that's what you prefer, and that's what you can afford, but you're not pretentious about it. Look, we're all brought together some way,
Right.
somehow, by fermented dead plant matter.
That is so funny. Fermented. I like that.
It's what it is. It provides pleasure to your mouth hole. I wouldn't say that not holding a cigar. Somebody may take that the wrong way.
Yes, they may take that the wrong way.
But, shout out to Boofy for that one.
He's a good dude too.
All right, so other than myself and Karen Berger, who've been some of the other interesting people you've met out there that you would like to spend more time with?
Oh my. There's so many people I got to meet. Just honestly, I had to think about this because there's so many people just in the last couple of months that I have met in the industry and talking to people. Oh my. Manny from Fuente Opus X Society.
The Opus X Society? Manny's a great dude.
He is. And Belksy, she's great too. And Mike and the German Engineered Cigars Company. I love talking to them. They were great. Man, there's so many people that I just met recently, just in general. I can't even think of everybody, but those are some good people to name for sure.
But somebody has high end taste, don't they? Hmm. 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 Mm. Oh yeah. I'm too. Look, I got turned. Look, I'll say this: I got turned on to her content last year when she was at like 1,500 followers on Instagram, and I've watched her explode. And she has a lot of success, and I think it's a lot to do with that. She's putting out educational content that a lot of newbies in the game or novices in the game have questions about and are afraid to ask. And
Thank you.
she's giving them the I think she's giving that education out there that is answering those questions out there. And so, I'm proud of her too. Because
Thank you.
I've told her on many occasions that she's coming to that point where she keeps going up. She's gonna blow up here pretty soon within the next year. That she's gonna blow up, and the success that she has is gonna be doubled and tripled. And I'm happy to watch her journey. And
Thank you so much.
she can. I'll wave at her when she's walking by with her posse.
Oh my.
Ooh, V
I'm going to
cut.
give you a hug for sure.
All right.
I'm going to give you a hug. I'm not
Okay.
just going to be walking by and waving at you.
Waving. You're waving at the person behind me. I just happen to be standing there.
Oh no, that's definitely not how that works.
Ah,
Thank you so much, RNYC. Thank you so much for your kind words. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
that's it.
Thank.
There's a good question. V cut, straight or punch?
Oh my. So honestly, my default is a V cut. However, I do like a punch occasionally. If I'm not doing a V cut, I will do a punch. A straight cut is kind of my last resort. I'm not a huge fan of a straight cut, but I do have or have tried certain cigars that do kind of require a straight cut. It makes more sense.
I don't
What
care.
about you?
Eh. I'm not a big punch guy, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm mainly a straight cut. But okay, sometimes I get on a kick where I'll go like 2 or 3 weeks of doing nothing but V's, and
Mm-hmm.
then sometimes I'll do a straight. But mainly I do a straight, and of course the good old select draw, which can be used as a cutter itself, as just a punch, or as an enhancer to your cigar that will make those flavors pop even more.
I'm gonna have to get one of those. I don't have one of those.
And right down there it is. Get your select draw cigar cutter at where? Selectdrawcigarcutters.com, and use that what? Oh, that promo code, and you're gonna save yourself some coin when you check out on one.
Let me tell you, you're special if you got a promo code.
Oh, yes, that's right. And if you go into my link tree, I've got links to my other partners that I do business with some shops and manufacturers who do sell, that you can also go buy cigars from and save money when you use those promo codes. So,
Okay.
you know, just saying out there, get go get to go get it. Well, Sterling, glad to see you made it. Thank you so
Hey,
much for
Sterling.
coming in.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Shout out to
Handle
Havana Rays in Mobile.
All right. And handlebars and cigars. Well, appreciate you stopping in, man. Thank you so much. Great
Yes.
questions from you today as well. You get a unicorn star.
Thank you so much, Handlebars and Cigars.
Yeah. To me, I'm at the point now where I don't really care. Sometimes I'll just peel the cap off and smoke the cigar by just peeling the cap off. And
Really?
just at this point, it doesn't really matter. I'm not caught up on the cut, per
Okay.
se. It's not that I'm against a punch. It's not my preference. I'll put it that way. It's not my preference.
Okay.
But occasionally I will do a punch. When I was testing out the select draw, on that, I did do a punch. I did smoke about 14 cigars. I did multiple different types of cuts on it. I did multiple different holes poked throughout the cigar to figure out what I liked. And then I found what worked for me. And I was super sold on this. I was super sold on it. I think that I go, man, Mark had such a great idea. That's why we got smart people out there. I don't care what
We
anybody
do.
says.
We do in the industry for sure.
He saw a problem, and then he said, I'm going to come up with a solution to fix it, all because his wife was mad. See, so ladies, if you're watching, just get mad about something and your husband will find some way to come up with a solution. See, you know just saying that we can be motivated, because we don't like that look out there. Yes. So yeah, I like the select draw. I definitely it is an accessory that I feel is totally needed uh, if you're a cigar smoker out there.
Okay. I will share with you, I know you said that you're not really big on punch, but I did just receive a punch bracelet. And I really, really like how deep the punch is. It actually gives the cigar a deeper draw for me, and I enjoyed the punch. So I definitely would encourage you to get a punch bracelet, and try that out and see if that works for you.
Do you dabble in pipes?
I do. Actually, I recently started this year smoking a pipe, and it has been enjoyable. However, I am still learning so much about the pipe industry and actually have picked up a book about it so that I can really be immersed in the culture, because I don't want to talk about something that I'm not very familiar with. So I'm getting there. I'm learning more about it every day. What about you? Do you smoke pipes?
I used to a lot more. Now maybe once or twice a month I'll smoke a pipe just to kind of mix things up. I on a really really good cigar, I will cut the nub up and put it in my pipe and finish it in the pipe.
Wow,
Uh,
that's
just
interesting.
because I don't want to wait. That tobacco was so good and tasted so good, I don't want to waste it. So I'll put it in the pipe and get it. And then you have a brand out there like Family by Loyalty that makes a cigar that has a pipe designed for cigars. So
Wow.
and they have a pipe size cigar
Tell me
that
about
fits
that.
in that. So um, Alan and his partner came up with go. A lot of people like to do what I do, which is finish their cigar in a pipe. But what if you could start a cigar in a pipe
Hmm.
and then finish it? So they created a special pipe that the cigar one fits into, light it, and then you can smoke it from the pipe. And it's the pipe size. It's the size is called pipe size because they
Wow.
created it specifically for the pipe out there on it. So shout out to Alan, my brother. I love you.
Sounds like a
Uh,
really good invention.
it's a great invention. Again, we got people out there who are thinking, who are like, I like to look. I want to finish this cigar off, but it's too short for me to handle. But the
Hmm.
tobacco's too good. I want to put it in my pipe, but
What
I don't
about
want to. I don't want to have to cut it up. What if it just fit into it? The nub just fit into the pipe, and then I could smoke it. Well, let's come up with an invention to do that.
yeah. What about the poker? Do you use pokers?
I do. I have my roofing nail nubber, and then I have my perfect draw screw or drill
Okay.
bit. Yes. I mean, who says I got to spend all this expensive money on that stuff?
Well, I mean, I
Cost
think
me thir-
poker's a
this cost me this cost me 30 cents right
30
here.
cents.
30 cents for the roofing nail and the drill bit, and I can nub the cigar with the roofing nail. And if I got a blockage I need to clear, the drill bit does the same thing that the perfect draw does.
Really? I never thought about that. That's a good way to you to that's a good alternative. I think that's a good alternative.
That stuff's expensive. I'm like, I could spend, you know how many cigars I could buy? on
I
buying a
mean,
nubber and a perfect draw?
I have a poker that wasn't too much.
That's taking now out of my cigar budget.
I understand that for sure. I
I
do.
got I got priorities.
Yes, cigars are priorities for sure.
It is a priority out there. Now, are you a daily smoker, a casual smoker?
I typically smoke about 3 cigars per week. Now, if
Okay.
I'm doing a cigar review for a company, I will particularly spend maybe that might be my fourth cigar, or it might just be my third cigar that I'm smoking for the week. But I typically smoke between 3 and 4 cigars per week.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I'd
Hmm.
love to smoke daily, but with work, it makes it hard.
Agreed.
You know, I do tend to do a bit more on like Sundays and Mondays when I'm off and I'm
Hmm.
doing other things. I tend to have a cigar out and I am smoking and hanging out and doing other things. So I do tend to smoke a bit more on those days. But during the week, I may only this week smoke today and tomorrow. I may not smoke again till for the rest of the week, just depending on my work schedule.
Okay.
So you know, I try and make the best of what is out there. But I'd love to smoke every day. Oh,
Yeah, I agree. I would like to smoke every day. I think for me, I have allergies. And so I can't smoke every day, but 3 to 4 cigars a week I think is good. I think too, it kind of gives me that space to be able to, okay, take a rest, and I'm not smoking every single day.
I,
So right now I think I'm okay.
it keeps your palate a bit fresher. I
Right,
feel
that's very true.
I feel because I find that when I start smoking a whole lot more out there, especially if it's consistently on a daily basis, I do tend to feel a difference, which is why usually, twice a year I'll take a 2 week break from smoke. I got no shows, I got nothing planned. I just basically I take a break and then so let my palate kind of reset a little bit because for me, things start muddling together, and I have a hard time separating out flavors. So I want to have that fresh palate that
Agreed.
going out there. Tobacco. Favorite type of tobacco? Do you have one?
Hmm. I have a favorite rapper. My
Do share.
favorite my favorite rapper is Cameroon. I like Cameroon because it's kind of sweet, has a little bit of kick. It's real little, and I really like how it burns as well. I think for me, Cameroon describes me very well. It's brown, it's sweet, a little spicy. I think we have a lot in common.
I love Cameroon. It's my favorite too. However, you know, anything Oscuro is kind of my side piece. So,
Really?
oh yeah, if I get that you up text from Oscuro, Cameroon just has to know that. Look, you know, I got to do this. But at the end of the day, I'm coming back to you. I can't contain myself.
I understand. I understand for
I
sure.
love, I love a good Oscuro out there. Like one of my favorite cigars, Oscuro wise, was the 2006 Opus X Double Oscuro. They
Hmm.
only made 1,000 of them. It had an African Cameroon Oscuro wrapper, Dominican Cameroon Oscuro binder.
Wow.
It was so delicious. They only
I
made a
believe
thousand
it.
of. They only made 1,000 of them.
One
And
thing
back in
about
2006, they were $35 a piece, which was a lot of money back then.
yeah,
But yeah, they're so good. I got three. I still have three of them left.
you holding on to them for
Oh,
dear
two.
life,
Well, I
huh?
have two. Well, I found them. I forgot I had them,
Uh-huh.
and so I did smoke one over last summer. I did smoke one, but it did not age well at all, unfortunately.
Oh,
So now they're just collection pieces.
okay. Yeah, Opus X for one day, they don't miss at all.
Yeah, they're that one for sure. That one, it's a dreamer cigar. And then being introduced to some newer brands out there, Sassy Soul, Miss Kim, she's got an Oscuro that made me flood my floor. I was drooling so much.
Really?
Oh my goodness, it's so good. Yeah, it's a delicious, delicious cigar out there. Definitely check out anybody in the chat. Check out Sassy Soul Cigars. Miss Kim she's found the secret sauce out there. I think we were talking about women in the industry. There is a woman. There you go with a woman manufacturer out of Louisiana.
Okay, I'll have to check her cigars out.
She's wonderful. She's got a 10-pack sampler you can purchase off her website. And she does. They're good. I started on this journey with her sticks about a month ago, and I'm about halfway through on the journey. And I guess I have not been disappointed with anything I've smoked from her.
Wow,
So
that's a treasure for sure.
Everything has been fantastic out there. Do you belong to any of the monthly clubs out there?
So I don't. Not at the moment. Honestly, I like the joy of being able to go to a cigar shop. Not saying that I don't buy cigars online, but I do enjoy being able to go to the cigar shop. So what I would like to see though is some cigar shops that have a monthly subscription. That would be kind of cool.
OGT Cigars, Oakland Tobacconists out of California. They have their monthly OGT Society, which usually is an exclusive manufacturer just for them. Maybe a limited run stick that only X amount are made that they will put in there. The brand this month was the brand new cigar from Dissident Home, the reimagining of the Home stick that came out a few years ago. It's a small batch run on that, and that's what I got this month.
Wow.
So
I'm gonna definitely have to check them out for sure.
But again, I tend to stick with the OGT because they tend to cater towards the boutique side of things, which is what I'm all about. So to be able to get some of these good cigars that I don't think that I think need the proper promotion for, and having a shop like that carries that, I think that's a big bonus.
Yeah, that is for sure. I do want to ask you, what is a cigar question that people ask you a lot?
What are you smoking now?
People ask you that question a lot.
I get asked that a ton.
Really?
Yeah, when I was doing reviews, I'd get a lot of questions in regards to the review side of things. But since I quit doing reviews, it's like, what are the brands? Because there have been a couple brands out there now that are blowing up that years ago I called out. Black Star Line. I was on them back in 2020, and now Eric blowing up now. So, but
yeah, I got to meet him at TPE. He's really nice.
Eric's a fantastic dude. His number 2, Cliff, is a great dude.
Cliff is cool too. I got to meet him too. Seemed like everybody was there.
That's right. His number 1 brand ambassador, Mimi, she is awesome. So he's got such a great crew, and plus, anytime I go to any event anywhere and I see Eric, he always invites me to be a part of what he's got going on, hang out with him. Treats me like family.
That's really nice.
That's so yeah, I was on him, and now he's blowing up, and so everybody, people tend to look at me for what's the next big boutique brand or small batch brand that's gonna blow up next. And look, I'm always on that. The Cigar Clowns, I've said it, they're gonna be the next Ezra Zion out there. They're gonna be that
big
company.
Words.
They're gonna be that company that you're going to go to when you want a small batch single run stick. That's them. They're going to they're slowly catching up to that Ezra Zion stage. And so I think they're going to be the next Ezra Zion brand out there. So I think that there's a lot of brands out there that have a lot of potential, and they're going to continue to grow and to to showcase and be able to showcase more. Ish, Ish is a guy who doesn't care if he gets big or not. You know, most of the biggest brands out there, he manufactures their cigars. So,
Wow, I didn't know
it's
that.
not like he's out there for his own stuff hurting from, to get blown up, but he's starting to get some big notoriety in the South. So, and these are all people who I know, and I'm happy for their success, and I want them to continue to grow and be successful.
Well, that's also why we call you the boutique king.
No one's called me that, but
Well,
thank you.
I'm calling you that.
Well, you're more than
We
welcome.
yeah, and we have somebody else. Hey, Nicole, how you doing?
Yes. So that's where it's at. Does anybody else in the chat have any questions that you would like me, Shell, to answer out there? Um, oh my
Oh,
goodness.
cigar
Oh,
with
there's the
style.
style.
Yes. Oh my goodness, that's my love. Oh my gosh, I love him so much. He's such a sweet guy. We got to meet at TPE too.
Yes,
He's one of my favorites.
yes. He always has some fire sticks. If you want to drool at a picture, go follow him on Instagram. And
He does take some really great pictures.
does take some great pictures, and it always is out there smoking some good stuff. Although I don't know about that Vincente blend stuff. I'm boycotting them because they sent sticks to everybody but me.
Oh my.
So I'm boycotting them for that reason.
It's totally fine. Totally fine.
That's right. And I'm not going to spend that kind of money for uh, for a cigar. But if he wants to send it to me, I could be influenced to spend that kind of money.
He
Okay.
said he'll send you some.
Well, I want it to come from the manufacturer there. That's.
Well,
But
I mean,
I'll
don't short
take
your
it.
blessings now.
I'll accept it. No questions asked. I'll take it. I'll shout you out. I won't shout them out.
Don't do that. That's not
Uh,
nice.
what's your biggest cigar no? Again, Kenneth. Kenneth is the valedictorian of today's show.
Yes, Kenneth, thank you so much. You have been coming through with the questions. My biggest cigar no. Let me think about that. What is your biggest cigar no?
Um, I have issues with how people light their cigars. That's
Okay.
my biggest no because it annoys me. When you see them and they got the flame right up on it. They're moving their lighter all around. They're torching and burning the cigar. That's like one of my biggest no-nos out there because I don't think that they've been taught right or they were taught incorrectly. But they also I've noticed that the biggest thing a lot of people get defensive over is when you try to talk to them about how they're lighting their stick. That seems to be the biggest thing that people get defensive about.
I could
But
see that for sure.
that's one of my biggest no-nos. It's like, dude, you're burning that wrapper, man. Don't hold that back. Don't move the lighter, man. Move the cigar. Move the cigar. Hold
My
back when
biggest,
you light.
yeah, I agree. I agree. My biggest cigar no is touching every cigar in the humidor. That by far is probably one of the things that irritates me the absolute most.
Well, that's what
Um,
I do.
You would irritate me then.
I told you I get my dirty, greasy hands all over everything. I run it across I don't even hold it out to smell. I run it straight across my face.
Oh my goodness. Oh no, that is a no.
Go ahead and
The
ask your question, sir.
Yeah, but the reason I don't like that is because when you touch every single cigar in the humidor, whether it has cellophane or doesn't have cellophane, it it's like if you're not going to buy it, don't touch it.
Yeah,
Look it up before you touch it, and look to see what the price point is before you touch it. Somebody else has got to buy that.
yeah. What has been the biggest? What's been your what's been the biggest uh enjoyment, or like the best surprise you have gotten since you started as a creator doing what you're doing?
Mm, the biggest surprise, I think, is that people allow you to make mistakes. Because for me, I'm a type A person. I tend to be I want things to be done right immediately. I want them to be um, done right the first time. I don't really want to make a mistake. That's not really something that I enjoy doing. But as I have kind of gotten more into the industry with creating cigar content, being able to make mistakes, like people are really quick to say, hey, I noticed that you did XYZ. And, I think that maybe if you tried this, this might be better. I've even had people DM me and say things like that, and I'm grateful for it. Like I'm not one of those people who says, "Oh no, I don't want anybody to tell me anything." And I think you should always be open for feedback. You should always be open for people to tell you something, because you may not know it. I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything, especially about cigars. People have been smoking cigars 3 times my age. And so, I don't claim to know everything. And I love the fact that people in the community, they're very, hey, this is something that you should keep in mind when you're doing your videos. Like, for instance, when I first started, one of my very first videos, I actually didn't realize that the camera was showing fuzzy. Like it looked like almost kind of like it was kind of a glare. And it was kind of fuzzy, so the camera quality wasn't the best. And it wasn't that my phone was not good, it just I didn't remember to wipe the screen beforehand. So someone actually DM'd me and was like, hey, I loved your video, loved your content, but I noticed that your camera was a little fuzzy. Like, I know that you're probably real busy with doing your content and you probably didn't even think about it, but maybe try to wipe your screen before you actually do the video. And I was like, you know what? I honestly did not think about that. And I'm so grateful that you told me, because now I'm even more conscious about it. And it's something that I take the extra time to do, because when you're creating content, you're like, okay, I got to get this out. I got to do this video. And you probably might have a couple takes, or when you're doing the video, you might like have maybe even the glare that shows up that you did want to be in the video. And so I appreciate when people do give me feedback. I welcome it. And anytime I have my calendars that come out, I always put at the end, if you have any questions or any feedback, please send it my way. I definitely want to hear your thoughts.
Constructive criticism goes a long way, and
it does.
Putting out better content out there, and at the end of the day, we all don't know anything. I don't know everything, because I'm a student of the leaf out, and
right.
I always want to learn more. I nerd out over this stuff.
Agreed.
All right. So, cigars with styles. Your thoughts on the cigar bands? Leave it on, remove it while smoking it.
So my thought about a cigar band is, I like to have the cigar band on until I get to the last third of the cigar. For me, it kind of protects your fingers. And I like the fact that my fingers are not immediately getting hot from smoking this cigar until the last third. So I would agree that you keep the band on. I actually kind of move it sometimes to keep my hands from being burnt.
Diva. I don't care.
Really?
That's my answer. I don't care. On,
okay.
Off, don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Don't care.
Yeah.
If it stays on, it stays on. If it comes off, it comes off. Don't care.
Do you ever are your hands ever hot?
No.
No.
No. I'm lucky that most of the cigars I smoke burn cool.
Well, that's good.
Like, I'm touching. I'm on the cherry, and this thing's cool to the touch.
Well, that's good.
I don't. I tend to be a slow smoker, so
same.
I tend not to get hot. I tend not to look, I don't have a cone going on it when I ashed it, so I tend to be a slow smoker.
Okay.
So things tend to burn cool, so I'm not. But if it starts getting hot, it gets hot. But that's just whatever. I don't care. So I hope that answered your question for me. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I tend to, if I'm taking pictures, I tend to leave it on till I get the picture taken, then I take it off.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end, I don't want. It's something I don't want to deal with out there.
He
All right.
said, we had a debate about what triggered it and turned out to be for protecting the fingers from your heat and smell before some art of some artwork or marketing purposes.
Yeah, I mean, the band on it was originally designed to be by the Queen of England, who didn't want her fingers to smell or to get her fingers dirty, so
Correct.
gave her something to hold on to. And it's all the band is also called the Vitola.
Mm-hmm.
The cigar, the length of the cigar is not called the Vitola. The band is called the Vitola. That's what the band is called. So if you refer to a cigar size as Vitola, you're incorrect. Just
Mm.
because that's a misconception out there that the Vitola is the size of the cigar or the whatever they're calling the name of the cigar, but the band or the ring is the Vitola. It's identifying who makes the cigar.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cigar education from you.
just things that you learn along the way, out
Yeah.
there. Yeah, you learn some of that stuff if you've ever taken the a tobacconist class. That's one of the questions in to become a certified tobacconist is what is the Vitola.
Well, thank you for that answer. That's definitely on my list of things to do. I'm working on that.
So yeah, people get this misconception. If you go on Wikipedia or any of the cigar education websites, a lot of them tell you the Vitola is a reference to the cigar. That is more of the Americanized way of what we call a Vitola is the size. But
Mm.
in traditionally, the Vitola is the band is what it is traditionally. But we got to be different in America and do things awkwardly than a lot of people.
We do
But
things different.
we're still right by not using the metric system. Any other questions before we end the show tonight with Miss Mechelle?
I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you so much.
I'm glad to have you on.
Yes.
You got an open invite.
Well, I appreciate it. I will
Listen,
definitely use that.
there are very few people I give open invites to, and they don't take advantage of often. But sometimes I got a guest on that they've really wanted to meet or talk to, and they asked if they could come on and be co-host with me, and I say sure.
Yeah.
So
Co-hosting it wouldn't be bad. We should do that.
so yeah, I did what I've got there's a couple people that have open invites and they go, hey, you've got so and so on. I've always wanted to talk to that person. Can I co-host with you tonight? You got it. That's what I do. I give him back to the community there because I like when I have a co-host because then I don't have to do much other than just run the programming and then chime in every now and then.
You
Works
do a
easy for
great
me.
job. You do a great job with your show.
Well, thank you. I try very hard. Well, all right. We're going to end it down on that. So, couple ending notes for the end of the show tomorrow night. Um, Tomorrow night, Raw Cigar Reviews, Ryan and myself. We don't have a guest, but we will be reviewing something tomorrow night. Make sure you head over to my Rumble if you want to check out content. All pre-recorded content winds up on Rumble. So, if you missed the Tuesday show on IG Live, you can catch it over on Fridays on my Rumble page. Wednesday, here on YouTube, my first pre-recorded video in over a year will drop. EKB from the Vintage Cigar threw a challenge out at me and I responded. So make sure you check that out. He's awesome with his top 10 lists. He challenged me to a top 10 list and I accepted. And so I have a top 10 list that is dropping based upon his challenge out there. Next week, erotica novelist, cookbook author, owner of a mobile cigar trolley in Nashville, Daniel Dark. He was supposed to be on a couple weeks ago, but got sick. This is a makeup show for him to come back on. So we're going to have him on. I love talking to him. Maybe you've seen him on Instagram. gentleman cigars. So we'll see which of his 1860s outfits he's wearing.
Sounds like
And
it's gonna be a good show.
it will be a great show. Maybe we can get him to read an excerpt from his erotica novel and see if the women get all worked up again. Out there. And in 2 weeks, my boy, Howard G. Howard G is my guest. I love him. If you know me, you know he was the first person that came on board. It was one of my first advertisers that I had when I started. He was the first person that believed in what I could do. And so I got the man himself, Mr. Howard G, in 2 weeks. That'll be an awesome show as well. Final thoughts to you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for your support. And thank you so much for having me, Danny. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to speaking to you again. And I look forward to also.
Oh, boy. She dropped off. She's having issues tonight with her connection. For once, it's not me and my connection. Usually it ends up being me kicking the Ethernet cable out of the computer and then having to reboot the streamer. And so but we'll give her just a minute to see if she comes back on. If she does, then we will I'll let her finish off. But RNYC, thank you so much for your nice comment. I hope you're all, if you're not following me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I got content going up on Instagram almost daily. Oh, so there's always something going on. And we did hit 750 subscribers over here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for that. There is a giveaway that is coming. So be on the lookout for that in the next few weeks. I'll be doing a giveaway since we hit that milestone. I'm super excited about that. You know, it's a long time coming and even harder to do when you're kind of limited on where you can put content nowadays. Back to you.
I'm sorry. This connection is just not doing it for me. And I'm on Wi-Fi. So I'm so sorry to hear that.
Go on ahead. Your final thoughts. We're going to end off here with you.
I want to just again say thank you guys so much for your support and be on the lookout for more cigar education on Mondays. And if you guys have any questions or any topics that you want to learn about, please send them my way. I am more than happy to do a video on them so that way you're able to be educated.
Excellent. There was one question I want to ask you.
Sure.
Before we finish. Who are content creators you watch that you enjoy? And take me out of this.
I was going to say you because I do watch your show a lot.
Take me out of it. And who do you watch that you enjoy? That maybe some other people in the chat would also enjoy watching.
So I would say Ben. I do watch Ben. I do like Cigar with Style. That's another person that I do like. Handlebars and Cigars, the Cigarage. I love their show as well, and I love how I love their interaction. Like I was on their show in February, and I just enjoy watching their show. I have it saved on my YouTube, so it alerts me when their show is about to happen. So those would be some people that I definitely watch for sure.
Excellent. If you're not following any of those people, go do it. I think everybody here probably follows Ben. She has 30,000 followers. So I think everybody here follows her. But if you're not, you should be.
Yeah. She puts out great content. And she just had an interview series for Women's History Month.
Yes. She does some fantastic content. And if you like smart, beautiful women, make sure you go watch her. Just like you should be watching. Oh, there we go. This smart, beautiful woman right there.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Thank you all. Thanks to everybody who hung out today. Thanks to everybody who was in the chat today. You all did an awesome job. Kenneth, you get 5 gold stars.
Yes, wonderful questions. Thank you.
You are the winner of today's question of the day. You don't win anything other than pride. So, all right, guys, we will see you next week. Thank you so much. Take care. Be safe out there. Don't do anything either one of us wouldn't do. And we'll catch you later. Peace.